He knew that even on our good days, we could make bad choices. We could mess up. And when we do, we hurt other people. He knew that. So what Jesus did not do is he did not put the lion's share of his trust in any human being in order for his life to be successful, for his life to have meaning, for his destiny to be fulfilled. He put the lion's share of his trust in God and God alone, who would never betray, never violate the trust, and knew how to make sure that Jesus' life would be everything it was supposed to be, no matter what anybody else in the world did. And when we are able to trust God supremely, and to put the lion's share of our hope for the life of our dreams in him, then we are able to trust others appropriately so that we can move securely through life and deal with anything that might happen. If we want to learn to trust again, it really begins by saying, I'm going to trust God supremely. I would suggest that there's a second important component to learning to trust again. And I would phrase it quite simply this way. Forgive those who have betrayed you. Forgive those who have betrayed you. Jesus could not have been much clearer. If we ever want to get beyond betrayal, if we ever want to get beyond the pain, the anger, the resentment that we feel because someone has violated our trust, there will come a point in time in which we must forgive them for what they have done to us. And if we fail to forgive, that unforgiveness will poison our efforts at building a trusting relationship with other people. It will poison our entire life. Here's how Jesus put it in the Gospel of Matthew. Here, these words about forgiveness are recorded. It begins with Peter, one of the guys following Jesus, asking him a simple question. Lord, how often should I forgive someone who sins against me? That's a fair question. I mean, how many times should I forgive before I go, look, I've forgiven you and you keep messing up, forget it, no more? Peter goes, 7 times? Peter thought that was pretty gracious. Because the religious establishment of the day had concluded 3 times is the number. 3. After the 3rd time, forget it, no need to forgive anymore. So Peter goes, Jesus, I'm getting this grace thing. So like 7? No, Jesus replied. 70 times 7. I got a calculator out. That's 409. That's a lot. Then Jesus launches into this story. He says, for this reason, the kingdom of heaven can be compared. For this reason, forgiveness. Full and free, whenever, however, whoever. For this reason, the kingdom of heaven can be compared to a king who decided to bring his accounts up to date with the servants who had borrowed money from him. In the process, one of his debtors was brought in, who owed him millions of dollars. He couldn't pay. So the king ordered that he, his wife, his children, everything he had, be sold to pay the debt. But the man fell down before the king and begged him, Oh, sir, be patient with me, and I will pay it all. That's an emotional plea, not a rational plea. If you have no money, the odds of you being able to come up with millions of dollars in a hurry are slim. I suggest the lottery. Always a good strategy for wealth. Then the king was filled with pity for him and released him and forgave the debt. Whoa. How'd you feel something like that happened to you? Your mortgage company calls up. Man, we're about to go under, because most of them are. We're about to go under, and we need all of the money you owe us now. It's in the small print of the contract. I don't have the money. Be patient with me. I'll give it. I'll tell you what. You forget it. We'll just forgive the debt. There you go. It's your house. How'd you feel? Woo-hoo! Absolutely. Yes! This guy felt like that times 100. But when the man left, he went to a fellow servant who owed him a few $100. He grabbed him by the throat and demanded instant payment. His fellow servant fell down before him and begged him for a little more time. "Be patient and I will pay," he pleaded. Sound familiar? But his creditor wouldn't wait, and he had the man arrested and jailed until the debt could be paid in full, which if you're in jail means never. And when some of the other servants saw this, they were very upset, and they went to the king and told him what had happened. And the king called in the man he had forgiven and said, "You evil servant, I forgave you that tremendous debt because you pleaded with me. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I had mercy on you?" Then the angry king sent the man to prison until he had paid every last penny. Get the picture? Forgiven $1 million. Oh, wow, this is so great. I love it. He leaves the king, finds just another common servant like him who owed him a few $100, said, "Pay me." The guy pleaded. He said, "No, you're in jail." King finds out about the hardness of his heart and says, "Because of that, you go to jail." Jesus makes this application. That's what my heavenly Father will do to you if you refuse to forgive your brothers and sisters in your heart. Oh, ouch. You know, I was with that story right up until the application. Now, that's not what you meant, Jesus, right? Yeah, that's what I mean. If you refuse to forgive others from your heart, then you will end up in a prison of unforgiveness yourself, where you will be trapped all of your days. And there's a lot of us who are in relational prison, emotional prison, spiritual prison, trapped and can't move on because we have not forgiven someone who betrayed us. You know the phrase we often use for being betrayed? What is it? Come on, you know.
Stabbed in the back.
Stabbed in the back is exactly right. When we betray, it's like somebody stabbed us in the back. And all the pain, right, is horrible. Because we've got, I'm not going to literally stab myself. Though if that would have been a cool effect. It's like, oh, because we've been stabbed in the back, and it's, oh, it hurts incredible, and of course our first instinct is to get it out, and oh man, and hopefully now that, time goes by, that wound heals. But you know what a lot of us do? We carry around the knife that stabbed us as a little reminder of what so-and-so did. And every so often, we take out that knife that was once in our back, and we use that to just inflict a little bit of damage in the life of the person who hurt us. Maybe what we're doing is we're talking to somebody else, and that person comes up, and we know how to shade the conversation to put them in a negative light to try to injure them in some way. You know. Or maybe they're in a situation, and we have a little bit of power in that situation, and what we're going to do is we're going to get out that knife that was once in our back, and we're going to use it to make sure they don't get the good thing happen to them. Or maybe what we do is we just get it out every once in a while, and we think about it. We mull on our mind about what a horrible, rotten person that was that put this knife